Mm, 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 mm. Hmm. So what shall I do? Hmm, I guess that's what I should do. Hmm. I think I need another microphone. Yeah, I think I do. But hey, what do you do for the time being? Okay then. It's time to rise and shine once again. Mm-hmm. Of course it is. Anyway, morning to you. It is the 23rd day of July, 2025. It is a day that has never been, and it is a day, believe it or not, that once it's gone, you won't ever see it again. It is a once in a lifetime deal. You don't get a do over, you don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done already. And you certainly don't get a chance to come back to undo the things that you do. So, whatever it is that you do with this day, the 23rd day of July, 25, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. Next up, it is our daily bread. Got to get a word from on high to get the day started. Okay? And again, it is a great day, an outstanding day to be alive. We'll be back. Bum, 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 bum.
God delights in saving His children.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Kirsten Holmberg. Kirsten writes, I scanned the water intently, on alert for signs of trouble. During my 6-hour shifts as a lifeguard, I watched from the side of the pool to ensure the safety of those swimming. Leaving my post, or even becoming lax in my attentiveness, could have grave consequences for those in the pool. If a swimmer was in danger of drowning due to injury or lack of skill, it was my responsibility to pluck them from the water and return them to safety on the pool deck. After experiencing God's aid in battle against the Philistines, David likens his rescue to being drawn out of quote-unquote deep waters. David's varied life and that of his men was in serious danger from his enemies. God buoyed David as he was drowning in disaster. The Christian's heart is the Holy Spirit's home.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Ann Cetus. The elderly woman in the nursing home didn't speak to anyone or request anything. It seemed she merely existed, rocking in her creaky old chair. She didn't have many visitors, so one young nurse would often go into her room on her breaks. Without asking the woman questions to try to get her to talk, she simply pulled up another chair and rocked with her. After several months, the elderly woman said to her, "Thank you for rocking with me." She was grateful for the companionship. Before he went back to heaven, Jesus promised to send a constant companion to his disciples. He told them he would not leave them alone, but would send the Holy Spirit to be in them. That promise is still true for believers in Jesus today. Jesus said that the triune God makes his home in us. The Lord is our close and faithful companion throughout our entire life. He will guide us in our deepest struggles, forgive our sin, hear each silent prayer, and shoulder the burdens we cannot bear. We can enjoy his sweet company today.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from John chapter 14, verses 15 through 26. If you love me, keep my commands. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him because it neither sees him nor knows him. But you know him, for he lives with you and will be in you. I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Before long, the world will not see me any more, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. On that day, you will realize that I am in my Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. Whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I too will love them and show myself to them. Then Judas, not Judas Iscariot, said, "But Lord, why do you intend to show yourself to us and not to the world?" Jesus replied, "Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. My Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them. Anyone who does not love me will not obey my teaching. These words you hear are not my own. They belong to the Father who sent me. All this I have spoken while still with you. But the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you." That's today's scripture reading from John chapter 14, verses 15 through 26.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us your Spirit as our constant companion, Lord. We are strengthened, encouraged, and led each day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, you got the word.
Court.
Now it's time to
Teach. Who?
get motivated. We'll be right
Here
back.
we go.
Here we go.
All the way. All the way.
Come on now. Let's rise and shine.
Airborne. Airborne. Every day. Every day. We run. We run to the sun. To the sun. No sweat. No sweat. Not yet. Not yet. Down in the mess hall on my knees. Down in the mess hall on my knees. We got nothing to eat but a can of beans. Nothing to eat but a can of beans. The bread was molded and the meat was bad. The bread was molded and the meat was bad. Well, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way. All the way. Gotta be rough and tough. Rough and tough.
Well.
Airborne. All the way. All the way. When I was young, I always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, knees in the breeze. Now that I'm here,
Dedicated to Z.
we ride, jump
Till it
from
gets home.
an aircraft while in flight. All the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving on. All the way, airborne, airborne, all the way, driving on, driving on.
You got to be motivated.
Early one morning in the drizzling rain, when I
Well, I
picked
picked
up
up
my
my
parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light with the chilling glow. All the way, airborne, airborne.
Get it done. Let's get it done. You waste some daylight.
Driving on, driving on, driving on. All the way, airborne, airborne, all the way.
I need a different microphone.
Driving on, driving on. Here we go, all the way. Gotta be rough and tough. Airborne.
Okay, that's a way to wake up every morning. Anyway, I tell you, I was snoozing, I was cruising for bruising while I was back there, you know, dreaming about something. Does anyone ever remember their dreams? I really don't remember my dreams. But I had one dream a couple of years ago that I was sitting at home, and it was one of the few times that the family got together and we was actually getting along. That was a good dream, actually. But I had to wake up from it because it wasn't reality at the moment. But it was kind of nice revisiting home for a minute there. Sometimes we all got a dream. Sometimes we all need a dream, something that will take our mind off the hustles and bustles of the day, you know. But anyway, how's everybody doing? I'm feeling pretty good this morning. We got a couple of things to talk about, but let me tell you about the weather today because it looks like it's going to be a hot one. Okay, I mean, it looks like it. Not don't look too. I mean, it doesn't look any worse than it's been anyway. Right now, though, if you go outside right now, you'll think that it is you'll think that it's kind of hot because it really is. But according to the weatherman right here of the Weather Underground, it is 78 degrees outside, so it's almost 80 degrees already. So naturally, it's probably going to get a little bit warmer. There's a 50% chance today that there will be rain, precipitation of some sorts. The pollen, if you know what that is, it's going to be like moderate ragweed pollen, whatever that is. Air quality is good, okay, and the UV index today is going to be extreme because it's hot. It's summertime, and it always is. Okay, I'm just telling you that's where it goes. Barometric pressure is 30.3. Visibility is 10 miles. Clouds are clear. Dew point 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity is at 89%. Rainfall none in the last 12 hours. We haven't had any snow, but if we do, I'll let you know. Okay, I'm thinking. So that's the way it goes. Now, the high today, in the history of the high today was 99 degrees. Didn't tell me what year it was, but it used to be. The low today, believe it or not, was 76 at this time. Okay, the average for this day is 94 degrees. So we're gonna see if we say, but the record high was 105 degrees. I don't know what year that was, when it happened. That's just what the almanac says. So, yeah, I'm glad I was in Indiana somewhere when that happened. Okay. All right, then. So that's your weather for today. Again, 49, there's a 50%, 49%, 50% chance of rain today. And so just carry your umbrella in the back of your car or something like that, okay? Again, today, partly cloudy with afternoon showers and or a thunderstorm. High 94 degrees, winds east, northeast at 10 miles per hour. Again, chance of rain, 50%. Tonight, 32% chance of precipitation. A shower or two is possible this evening with partly cloudy skies overnight, low near 75 degrees, winds east to at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. On tomorrow, at least that's what the guy says anyway, 46% chance of precipitation. A 46% chance of precipitation, partly cloudy, and afternoon showers or thunderstorms, high around 92 degrees. Winds east at about 10 miles per hour, and a chance of rain tomorrow, 50%. So we're probably gonna have a little bit of rain. That's cool though. I can live with that. Okay, you can handle a little rain. I mean, the good Lord never said. He said it'll rain on the just and the unjust. Okay, and that means rain. That means even in life that happens, those things happen. Anyway, good morning to you. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm doing pretty good. Now, first of all, let me give you the lessons of life today. I keep forgetting to put it up there. The lessons of life, and these are the things that you learn as you learn as we live. We learn certain things. There's only certain ways to learn certain lessons of life, and that's to live them. Everybody, you can't learn what you don't learn. Okay, and there's just some way. There's just some things you gotta learn, and some lessons that cost a little bit. they cost a little bit. So that's what we're doing right now. Let me see if I can unpin that right here. So put my lessons of life right there, and because we have to give a lesson of life every day because that's just the way it is. Okay, all right, that's just the way it is. We learn. If you're not learning, then you're not living. Okay, okay. So the lesson of life today is okay. Sometimes, quite often, as a matter of fact, our friends, they need our heart rather than our words. Okay, so remember that. Sometimes they just need to know that somebody cares rather than give them all this great advice they didn't ask for. Sometimes they need us to be quiet and listen. So I know I need to learn that myself, as a matter of fact. Sometimes. So I'm just saying you might want to take that in consideration when you have friends with problems. Okay, you might want to take that in consideration. All right. So good evening to everybody. Good morning to everybody. Um, I was browsing the news last night, and well, I'm a little bit perplexed. I'm a little bit perplexed uh, at this new woman from Baltimore who's going to be from according to her job description, she's going to be the new police chief. No, listen, I know we do have a police chief, but according to the newspaper, her duties will be that of a police chief. Now, Mr. Grayboys, I guess he must be on the way out. That's all I can tell you. He must be on the way out. That's all I can tell you. Because why would we bring somebody in? Okay, now, this guy ain't been on the job. This guy ain't been on the job forever. Hey, good morning, Al. He's not on the job. I mean, he hasn't been on the job that long. And we got to, now, I want you to listen to this right here, okay? I want you to listen to this. We got a new police chief. I mean, a new police lady, or whatever she is. I mean, I guess she's a lady. Somebody says she's 5'2" or 5'3", whatever the case may be. Um, she's not the one you want to call if a guy is whooping on your head. Okay, I'm just because she probably can't beat him. But I ain't mad at her. I mean, it ain't her fault. She's short. But I mean, I'm short. But I'm tough. So she has been appointed the second in command in the Montgomery Police Department. Okay, and Chief Grayboys appointed her. I can't Ettis. I think it's Ettice. It looked like Ellis Brickus. That sounds like one of those Latin names. We too, Brute. Okay. Anyway, Ettis Brickus. I've never heard that name. Ettice. Ettice, or whatever it is. Brickus. Brickus. I don't know. But anyway, she's here, and according to and she's been here. As a matter of fact, we just found out the other day, but she's been here. She's been at a couple of city council meetings, things of that nature, and people wondering, and the mayor has a way of doing things really without informing people till after it's been done. And I mean, give the rest of the city council a little respect, can you, Mayor? Let them know it. So when I call them up on the phone at night, um, uh, let them know what the hell's going on. Okay, I'm just saying. I realize you're the mayor, but according to Montgomery Advertiser, here is her job. Now, you tell me that this doesn't sound like a police chief. So the question on the table this morning is Grayboys on the way out? That's the question. He's a good guy, seems to me, but is he on the way out? Okay. Montgomery Police Department Chief James Grayboys appointed Ettis Brickus. I tell you, that don't sound like a Roman name. I never heard one before. As the new chief of staff. Nothing wrong with the chief of staff. Everybody needs one. But here is where I become a little bit confused about the new police person. Okay, now here's where I come a little bit confused right here, because in her job description, She will oversee daily operations, policy development, budget administration, and strategic management for MPD. Does that not sound like, okay, does that not sound like the police chief? Okay. So my question is, if she is going to oversee daily operation, policy development, budget administration, and strategic management for MPD, well, what's Grayboy going to do? It sounds like to me, she is the police chief, just not in name. Okay. And listen, I got no problem. But now here's what disturbs me a little bit. About her. Not about her, but why can't we do lateral promotions from the Montgomery Police Department? Why must we always go outside Alabama? These kids, these young men who put their pants on every day, put their butt on the line most of the time, can't seem to get a promotion in Montgomery Police Department too often unless they lived someplace else. Now I don't quite because we used to get, okay. They got on the woman who used to be the police, who I liked her. They got on her because she lived in Prattville. So we go to Baltimore, Maryland, Washington D.C., St. Louis, Louisiana. We go all these places to bring people in here, rather than the people who hump down there, and they never seem to get an opportunity to take the high job, take the big job. Now we did have the light skinned guy who used to be in charge of then he left and went to the U.S. Marshals. I can't think of his name right quick though, but he was local, but he had to go and come back to be it. Okay, so the question is, why would we go to Baltimore, Maryland, and get someone? The mayor needs to answer some of this. He'll be here next month sometime. Because why would we go to Baltimore, Maryland, and get somebody from a city? Does anybody remember the name Freddie Gray? Does anybody remember who Freddie Gray is? Okay, well, Freddie Gray is a young man that was in Baltimore that died while in police custody. And in 2015, he sustained a bunch of injuries while in police custody. The incident sparked, if you remember this, all kinds of protests that escalated into riots, leading to significant property damage, fires, and violence. Now, I'm only bringing that up because of this. You remember what they did in Baltimore? And she was on the police department this time. She'd been there 24 years. So she was on the police department at this time. So what happened was, is that correct grammar? Well, it's close enough. What happened, this guy dies in police custody, and the citizens want to answer. Now, I will admit to you, some citizens can be a little rambunctious, and they can be not necessarily good fellows, but they started rioting, which is not the first time that we've had riots in cities. New York, Harlem, Los Angeles. We've had them. But here's the one thing that the mayor of Baltimore at that particular time did that I've never heard any mayor doing. Okay, they may have been thinking it, but they certainly never did do it. They never said it. Okay, anybody remember? Okay, and the mayor at that particular time was Stephanie Rawlings Blake. Okay, and during a press conference, she said she wanted to give protesters space to destroy. Now, later on, she came back and said, well, I didn't really mean it that way. Yes, she did. Yeah. If you was in a certain part of town, you could destroy things. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what was her policy? What was her position in 2015? As she said, she's been there 24 years. So 2015 was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. What was her position? And she'd been there, I don't know, 14 years by then? Or somewhere around there, 10 years, something like that. But anyway, so why do we always seem to go get people? And I don't know anything about her. I really don't. I'm not too hot on a 5'2", 5'3" woman as police chief anyway. It does not give us the it does not give us the the optics that I believe are necessary for a police chief, a guy of strength, no nonsense. Now she may be, but these little fellas around here ain't paying much attention to a woman that's 5'3", 5'4", whatever she is, short. And used to be years ago, you had to be a certain height in order to be a policeman. And there was a reason for that because you need to be big and bad if you're going after the bad guy. So my question to the mayor is, why a woman who's on a police department back in now I know she wasn't in charge. To be fair to her, she wasn't in charge, but I hope that philosophy does not come with her. Okay, so if people start rioting, people start raising hell, then we're just gonna give them a certain part of the city where we can raise hell on, and that's what happened in Baltimore, Maryland, with her police department at that particular time. Okay, she wanted to give the protesters a space to demonstrate, and it was tearing up things. She later clarified. Now this is the mayor, not the police, not, and she might as well be the police chief. Again, did you hear what her duty is? What her duties are? Okay, so essentially, she is going to be the police chief. Okay, a woman who came from a organization, City of Baltimore, that thought their mayor thought the people had a right to destroy things. Okay, now one thing about Democrats, most of them think alike. Okay, I'm just saying, but the mayor later said, well, they misattributed. She didn't mean to say what she said. My problem is that she's a woman. Look, listen, there are some women that can. There are some. My problem is that she's a short woman, and a short woman can't be the guy. You can't. It ain't gonna happen. Okay, now you can shoot him. That's true. You can shoot them. I don't think women should be police chief anyway. To tell you the truth, I just not unless they, MMA, let's say MMA fighters, are former Army Airborne Rangers or something like that. It's proven that they can get you down without killing you. So I'm just saying, but that's just my thing. There's some jobs that are made for men and some jobs that are made for women. And we keep running this experiment. We go to Louisiana. We get who's the guy we brought up here? Was that Finn? Somebody came from Louisiana who had already had problems down there. We brought him here. There's been a couple of people that we have brought up here that had issues. The question I have: if her responsibility is what the newspaper says, why do we need to be paying gray boys? Okay. And again, according to them, she will oversee daily operations, policy development, okay, budget administration, and strategic management for MPD. And that's cool. But why do we need gray boys? So is gray boys on the way out? That's the question. It's got to be. I mean, you can't have two heads. You got to have, he's got to be on the way. And so somebody is not telling us something. Okay. And how come and she's been here for a while. How come the mayor has not come to the public and told us that this is happening? Again, she will oversee daily operations. Well, what the hell is the police chief for? Policy development. I thought that's something that the police chief handles. Budget administration, well, but that's what he does, and strategic management for MPD. So can somebody please out there tell me what does the police chief do if she's taking over all his duties? Okay, she's taking over all of his duties. So why do we need him? I mean, I'm just saying, cut the budget, get rid of him. Okay, I don't know the brother too well, but I've talked to him once or twice. But again, does that not sound like a police chief to you? Okay. Police department Chief James Grayboys appointed Etis Brickus as the new chief of staff. Okay, and she will oversee. I'm perplexed by this. She will oversee daily operations, policy development, budget administration, and strategic management for MPD. So, can somebody tell me when is Grayboys leaving? I mean, he don't have a job anymore. So when is he leaving? Anybody got the answer? Well, if you do, give me a call. You know the number here. The number's something here. I don't know what's the number. What is our numbers here? 241 521 2963. So I'm just saying. So when is the police chief leaving? Okay. I just want to know when he's leaving. 521 2963. Because somebody, okay, won't be there long. Okay. Not if, in fact, this is her duties. Okay. That's like replacing, that's like giving the, it's like giving the company commander, giving the platoon sergeant all the responsibilities of the company commander. Well, that means that the company commander won't be there long. Okay, that's what I mean. He's on the way out. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So anyway, going to be shown. Yeah. I agree with you. He's probably going to be shown the door soon. Absolutely. I mean, this woman coming in, and she, for the most part, is a new police chief. Okay. Now we had a woman, acting police chief, and we got rid of her because, for what I understand, there's a couple other reasons too, but for what I understand, because she lived in Prattville. So we go. So there's nobody. Are you telling me, of all the people on the Montgomery Police Department, of all the citizens with previous experience, we always got to go outside the state to find someone? And from the city of Baltimore, which I'm not blaming her, what her mayor did. But my question, what was her thoughts on that? And I like to talk to her, because if her thoughts was, well, yeah, let them ride over there, then I don't think that's a good thing. But what was her thought? So it would be unfair for me to think that she agreed with that, because she was on the police department that particular time, and I just like to know what she thinks, and would she ever consider letting people ride in the city of Montgomery because we wanted to make them happy? Okay, that's just my thing. But now that's not what she did. Okay. Hey, I do not want a woman to stay in the house, in the kitchen, waiting there. No. We need a woman to bring in a paycheck. Okay, we don't need to sit in the house and doing that. That's not what I want. Women can do certain things better than men, and men can do certain things better than women. I got a perp that's 6'3". I'm 5'2". What am I going to do with him? I'm 6'3", 295 pounds. Besides shooting him, what are you going to do with him? You're right. You're absolutely right. You're probably going to get your butt whooped. Okay. It is a matter of physics. It is a matter of physics. And unless you bring to bear lethal and maybe not so lethal equipment to go against that person, there's no way in the world a 5'2", 5'3" woman is going to handle a man. That's just not going to happen. It's a matter of physics. It's just a matter of physics. You can't. Now, and political correctness won't change that law of physics. Okay, I'm bigger, I'm faster, I'm stronger. So yeah, you're not gonna get me. Okay. My number's right there. It's right down this. Oh, there it is, right there. It's right down the screen. That's the number right there. I think my number's working anyway. I think it is. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's working. Anyway, that was just my thing. I found this out yesterday when like everybody else, when it was in the newspaper. And again, I'm just wondering. It sounds like she is the new police chief. I mean, she has taken over. Gray Boys has, I mean, unless he's planning on quitting, didn't tell anybody. Uh, so again, I just think we ought to have a conversation. Why we got to go to these high crime cities and get their people? Because right now, Baltimore at one point was the murder capital of the United States. So of course, we most of our Democrat cities take turns in having that moniker. Most of them take turns. Washington D.C., St. Louis, Baltimore, Maryland, Philly. I mean, we take turns doing it because there is a philosophical principle by which these people live by, and one of those principles is that because your daddy wasn't there and your mom had to work two jobs, then we understand why you tore up the city, why you did what you did. Okay, and I just think that's not good. Okay, okay, yeah, I got it, man. It's right there. All you gotta do is just call the number there, and it's at the bottom of the screen. It's at the bottom of the screen right there. So all you got to do is call it. You can text me 334. What is my text number? 334-922-3030. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting. And I talked to a couple of city councilmen, and some of them said they didn't know anything about this woman. So she comes in, and again, why do we always seem to do things under the cloak of darkness around here when it comes to and why do we have to go outside Montgomery, outside Alabama to get somebody? No wonder we can't find anybody to want to be a policeman in the city of Montgomery, because the chances of you moving up and taking that job as police chief after working your butt off for years and years and years is kind of slim to none. Because the policy around here is that go someplace else and find somebody else to take over the job. And I just think that really is an insult to the young men and women who put their butt on the line every day, not to have the opportunity to run that house. I mean, so every time a job comes up, we go all. And I know people say, "Well, we gotta ask. We have to go other places to see whether or not there's somebody else that's qualified to do the job." Now, I like to see a law that says that. Okay, I like to see a law that says you cannot hire from within. Okay, I just like to see that. Sheriff Cunningham came from the Montgomery Police Department. My good friend Mickey McDermott, big time lawyer here, came from the Montgomery Police Department. So obviously, we have people that are capable of doing that job, but we just don't seem to want to give it to anybody locally. So why in the world would I want to get a job where the chances of me being promoted to the top dog is not too good? So I'm just saying, are we saying that our people here in Montgomery, and I say our people now because I've been here 34 years, so I lived here longer than I lived any place in town in the world. So this is my home. This is my home for the time being, unless I decide to move. Which I'm getting too old to move now, so I'm gonna stick around right here. Although I was offered a job the other day in Missouri, I was, but they told me they wanted me to be there in 2 weeks, so I couldn't go that far and that fast. So I decided to stay in Montgomery. Okay, but I was headed there, but and the money was right. The money was right, but I didn't. I had to pack all this stuff up and go over there. I don't want to do that. Not in 2 weeks anyway. Now, if they give me like 90 days, I probably would have did it, but not 2 weeks. I ain't gonna cut it. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. We were just talking about the new police chief. That's not really a police chief. She's a chief of staff, which is the same thing. Okay. I'm just saying. And who's this guy? Virgil Tips came back from Philly to be the head detective. Yeah, I'm Chief Gillespie. He did a night. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, okay. That was the movies. But it does seem that we overlook our young men and women here who are doing good job. I mean, we had a woman, and I'm not against women leaders. Okay, I am against short women in roles that require some physical agility and some physical ability that men can provide and women can't. It's not that I'm against women, because the woman that we had we had two women police chief since I've been here. One was what was her name when I got here in '91? She Pearl, was it Pearl something? And I don't know what she's doing now. The former police chief of the Montgomery Police Department now is now the head of, and I went out there to see it, head of the police at the VA. I said, okay. And it's not good. We talked a couple of minutes after. She's doing well, as a matter of fact. So it's not that I'm against women, but I'm against women who no way in Hades can do the job that it takes, has the strength that it takes to handle a perp. They can't do it. Now you can shoot them, you can tase them. That's true. You can do that. But I don't know if that's the only way we want to do it. Okay. So, and listen, Greg said, little man don't want law enforcement. He wants social justice warriors. And, listen, I hate to go there, but it certainly does seem that way sometimes. We want somebody to take in considerations, the political considerations of law enforcement. Then we won't put people in jail who are obviously breaking the law on these major highways around here. Panhandling, when the law says you clearly cannot do that, but they do it anyway. He don't want to arrest people. Listen, I got a heart too. Okay, I got a heart too. The guy is down on his luck, trying to get $1. I got a heart too. But again, what we ought to have in this city is a place we call it Panhandlers Row. So if you feel benevolent, you can go over there and give some money away. But on every street, I'm so tired of looking at people on Atlanta Highway. I don't know what to do. Atlanta Highway, right there on Ann Street, on the Southern Bypass or the Eastern Bypass, it's just getting old. And I don't know who's using that guy that's in the wheelchair. Somebody's using a guy that's in the wheelchair, and we found out that there's somebody putting them out there to sort of lean on our emotional cord to give money. And somebody said they seen them the other day. Somebody dropped them off and then coming back and pick them up later on because they want him to sit out there in the hot sun and beg for money. Okay, again, and I have given him money. But at least he's in a wheelchair. At least in a wheel. I mean, he shows some physical inability. So. But anyway, it does seem like we want social justice warriors as policemen and not necessarily people who put a foot in your tail and say, get on up the road. I'm all for that because some people need to be smacked. Okay. So you can give those people on Federal and Ann Street that's panhandling $1. They will leave in a Mercedes park in another parking lot. I've seen that. As a matter of fact, one day I'm sitting in Walmart, right? And a woman's out there with a baby. Now, who can turn down a baby? Who? Well, I can. Yeah, I had no problem passing up. But first of all, you shouldn't use your baby out there on the road. Now, if they didn't have a place to stay and stuff like that. Women, if you got a child, there's somebody in this town. There's some organization in this town that would help you. But to come out there with your child and then getting your Mercedes Benz, using that child as a prop, I don't like that. But I saw it one day that happened. Riding in a better car I'm riding in. But anyway, the number's here just in case. Okay, so nobody's upset about I'm not upset about her being here, but I am somewhat upset that we can't seem to promote our own people. That's the part of this whole quagmire. We can't seem to promote our own people. So why would they want to stay here? Every time a good position comes open, we want to give it to somebody else from another town. And it's always a Democratic town. Towns that have histories of crime and stuff like that. And New Orleans. Oh man, they was under the government control for so long. I don't even know if they still are. So it seems like we can't. Can we just get somebody that's a mean son of a gun that believes in law and order? Okay, fair but tough. Because right now we need to. Well, what's going on in this city? We need to put on a tough veneer. We need to put on a veneer that is impenetrable. We need to to look like we tough, even though we may not be, but we need to look like it. So anyway, that was my main thing right there for the morning. I just don't know who I like her. I love her name though. Uh, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I like her name. Etis Brickus. I don't know. Etticebrickus. Etis Brickus. Okay. The new chief of staff. Now, and my only problem with her is this: she looks like she's taking over the Montgomery Police Department. Okay, which somebody's got to have it. I'm with you, but why not just so the case is Jane Greyboys, is he leaving? Okay, that's all I want to know. And he puts her in the chief of staff position because it's easier to transcend from chief of staff to police chief than bringing her on as a regular. And she does have 24 years of experience. I'm not gonna, but she don't have 24 years of experience in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay, Baltimore's a whole different world. So again, Montgomery Police Chief James Greyboys has appointed Etis Brickus as the new chief of staff. Okay, which I like that word. I like that. That's good. And here are her daily. Her job will be to oversee daily operations, which is a job that goes to the police chief. Policy development, which you think that would be a combined effort between all the policing departments there and the lower ranks people to get involved in that too. But that's a police chief job also. And budget administration. Well, I mean, that's certainly a police chief job. And strategic management for MPD. Now, I don't really know what that means. Strategic management for MPD. It sounds like some of that political correct stuff to me. Okay. So, can somebody tell me, is that not the job description of a police chief? Really? Is that not the job description of a police chief? Of course it is. Of course it is. So, what's Greyboys going to be doing? Just showing up, driving them to work every day, and going in his office and going to sleep. So I'm thinking that the old Chief Greyboys is about tired of Montgomery and he's ready to go back to doing what he was doing. Okay, so I'm just saying. I don't know that for sure, but the signs are on the wall here. Okay, chief of staff that's running things. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I think the signs on the wall that he's not going to be here much longer. Okay. Now, whether I'm the only one that figures that out or not, well, we'll see. And I hope I'm wrong. Well, I won't be wrong because you do not give somebody all that authority without putting them in charge. Okay. You just don't do that. Okay. So something's going on here. Okay. And I know Virgil Tills. Now, what we need, since we're bringing up Virgil Tills, what we need is a Cordell Walker, okay, as police chief. And I'm telling you, and nobody will be doing half the crap they're doing around here, okay? And Cordell didn't have to shoot anybody, okay? He just has to put his left foot on your right side of your jaw, and you was down and out. I'm just saying, So we need a Cordell Walker kind of police chief. And I don't know who that. Now, the one guy we used to have was kind of like that. The real light-skinned guy. What was his name? Somebody know whose name was. He went to. I think he was went to the FBI thing or the federal something with U.S. Marshals Service. I liked him. I mean, he didn't take no junk. He didn't even take no junk off me. And I liked him though. But I like a guy. I like a man that's got a set and don't mind showing them. Not literally, but I mean figuratively. We're men, and as men, we're supposed to act a certain kind of way. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so enough of that. Anybody wants to get anything else to say? Okay, so I'm about done with this thing right here. But again, just so you are reminded of what happened in where was that? In Baltimore years ago in 2015 when a man was killed in police custody up there, and we just don't want to. We want to make sure that that environment does not come here. Now we already had a dog kill a man a couple of years ago, and I still don't understand how that happened. Well, I do understand how that happened, and we need to do something about the the um, the dog issue with police departments all over the nation. Dogs should not be able to penetrate human skin. Okay, that's just a part right there that and it seems like sometimes when they deploy the dogs, they have a hard time making the dogs stop biting people. I understand. I mean, that's why the guy's a crook, because he got problems. So putting a dog on him don't help the problem. But I'm just saying we might want to do that again. In Baltimore, 2015, it was about the death of Freddie Gray, who died from injuries sustained while in police custody. The incident sparked protests and escalated into riots, leading to significant property damages, fires, and violence. The phrase, give the citizens the right to destroy, is often attributed to Baltimore Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake during a press conference. She said she wanted to give protesters a space to destroy, which many interpreted by as permission for rioting through. Although she later clarified that she misspoke. She didn't misspeak. That's what she meant, and meant to give a protester space to demonstrate peacefully. Yeah, yeah, she meant what she said. The right to destroy. Okay, the right to destroy. That is, and again, this lady was not in charge of the police department at that time, I guess. But it was just that you cannot be a member of that police force without having some of the personality of whoever's in charge. Okay, so I'm just asking the question. Where does she stand on that? Is she hardcore? Is she is she intolerant? Okay. Well, somebody said, I guess we don't have any. Wait a minute now. The guy right now is a white guy. I guess we don't have any white police. We won't have to worry about protesters or riots. Okay. Well, I don't know about that, but we got. Matter of fact, do we have any white policemen downtown? Well, Great Boys is a white guy. Do we? That's something. I haven't really seen very many. Wow, I don't know that. I haven't paid that much. I don't pay. I look at the blue, brother. I don't really understand. I don't really pay much attention to whether they're white or black or not. But that is something to think about, though. That is something to think about. So I guess we won't have any white policemen worry about any protests or riots. Okay, then. I don't know. Again, I'm just saying. It just seems that we I'm going to agree with the statement. Social justice warriors. We don't hire policemen to be social justice warriors. We hire policemen. And now, the biggest lie ever told. Okay. The biggest lie ever told is the police are here to protect you. That's not their job. According to the United States Supreme Court, the police are here to secure property, to protect your property, not you. That's why we have the Second Amendment. Okay, because we're supposed to participate in our own protection. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do: participate in our own protection. So that's what the Supreme Court said. I'll find the case after my break. But again, do we have justice warriors or do we have police? Okay, and that's the question. And ever since that BLM movement happened, there has been a restraint brought on by this cloud of political correctness when it comes to policing. I don't want the police to misuse people. Don't get me wrong. I don't want that. But every once in a while, some of these people need a foot put in their butt. Okay. So and we can't treat crooks and people go around killing people as if they are babies. They passed that baby stage a long time ago. Okay. So I don't know. Like, you're only complaining because it's in the news. That's not necessarily true. You only complain because it's in the news. The lady's been on the job for a month. And here's another thing. Okay. So let me ask you something. If that in fact is the case, why didn't we know it? Really, really. If she's been on the job for a month, why didn't we know it? Why was it not made clear to the citizens of Montgomery? She was acting in a position of major authority in the Montgomery Police Department. So if that's true, then why didn't we know it? Okay, why do we make everything a secret around here? Because once they got the word out that she's from Baltimore, then obviously what happened in Baltimore in 2015 would come up. Okay, I mean, if you're going to make the big decisions, then be ready to come up with some big answers. And if the mayor says, "Well, we hired her because she was the best person out there qualified," which I seriously doubt that, but okay, whatever whatever they are, whatever qualification they're looking for. My problem is that we used to hire people that were at least 5'9". Okay, now we hire little bitty people who don't have the physical ability to handle a perp if she was confronted with that. And at least not all by herself anyway. Now, if you're tough as I am, you get out there, you'll scrap with them. But anyway, from the environment where she came from, okay, that's my problem. I don't have no other problem though, with her. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How you doing,
Pretty
sir?
good, pretty good.
Another beautiful day.
To be in the neighborhood, absolutely.
Absolutely. And there was a text that's there on Facebook, and it kind of referenced. When I was in store management, district manager, regional manager, they always said, train your replacement.
Well,
because if you're a store manager, you want to be a district manager, well, then who's going to step into your shoes? And so you looked at your assistant managers and other personnel, and you groomed those persons to be able to do the job. And it was always, okay, before you ever became a store manager, you were doing all the activities, the same thing as a store manager. So that way, it's kind of like a 4x100 Olympic race.
mm-hmm.
You want to seamlessly pass that baton. So there is no drop in performance. And for whatever reason, this is just my opinion, the current police chief, he said, okay, I look at all my senior management here, police officers, and for whatever reason, he says, okay, there's nobody here that qualified, even with maybe some training, to step into the role that I'm doing. And so that's why, more likely, he reached out and looked at the different people. I'm sure this was not the only individual that they looked at in this position. And let's just be honest, he would not have made that appointment, that hire, unless Mayor Reed has already signed off on it.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm sure the mayor had a hell of a lot to say about it.
He had the final say so. I mean, let's be honest, because in essence, you're talking about when the current police chief's going to be out. Within a year, 2 years top.
Or less, or less. I mean, that just, you don't give all your responsibility.
A year
yeah.
would be on the outside.
Yeah.
And so he's going to let her run the department for all its practical purposes. He's going to give her counsel, see how she's doing. I would do this differently. Maybe how about look at that? And so he has, and Mayor Reed has hired the police chief's replacement at this point. And so she's just got to get in there and learn the personnel, learn how it operates, maybe make some recommendations. Because let me tell you, the police chief's going to say, okay, you want to go this route? Is this going to heal that you're going to die on? Okay, that's your decision. If it's good, great. If not, you're going to be held accountable for it. Now, my question would be, and like I say, we have a lot of great police officers there in Montgomery, without a doubt. Especially if they've been there 20 years, 25 years, 15 years, they've gone to hell and back with
Mhm.
all the things that have happened with poor morale, constant turnover, and stuff like that. Uh, but then it goes back to over the years, why have we not been training replacement in house?
Exactly, exactly. I mean, and Baltimore just does not have the the reputation that would give me the confidence
Confidence.
that
Yeah,
somebody from
absolutely.
there would be able to run our police department better than the people that are here.
Now, the one thing I would say about the Baltimore Police Department is a much larger police department. And so, more likely, she has been exposed to, I don't want to say a high volume, but she's dealt with many more police officers. I'm sure more likely there are divisions in Baltimore that have more personnel than the entire MPD. And so she's in her current position, or I say former position with Baltimore. I'm sure she's dealt with a lot of stuff. And we know Baltimore has some very severe issues with crime and stuff. So maybe she could bring to the table, okay, we had this issue in Baltimore. And let's be honest, Montgomery is kind of trending like Baltimore right now with violent crime. I mean, you can say all day long, oh, we're down 28%, and then next weekend all hell breaks loose. And so maybe she has seen during her tenure there in Baltimore a lot of the issues that are faced in Montgomery. And so she can bring an experience level that will help curtail what's going on in Montgomery, especially as far as turnover. I mean, until MPD can get a hand on the turnover and start actually adding to the police department instead of replacing those that are going away. We've got to get ahead of the curve at some point or other.
Yeah.
You know, when I ran for city council
Mm-hmm.
about 12 years ago, I looked at all the budget numbers. And you know, literally about 14 years ago, we had 550 MPD officers. And now we're under 300. And you know, you've got to have boots on the ground, for lack of a better way of putting it. And so we've got to figure out, why are we losing people? Why cannot we train people?
Right.
I mean, we can hire them all day long, and we have got one of the best police academies in this state. So we train them. They serve their 1 year, because if they leave before 1 year, they have to pay back $10,000.
Yeah.
So we've got to solve this problem, this constant turnover, and try to rebuild. And so I'm hoping she can bring a fresh perspective to that.
Well,
Because
it seems like wait a minute. It seems like to me, Baltimore, Maryland, is still considered one of the most dangerous cities in America. Okay,
it is
and it seems to
absolutely.
me. Wait a minute. It seems to me that why do we go to places that have not dealt with their issues that great to bring them here? We got our own issues.
We do.
I'm just you know, are they social justice warriors like one of the callers said, one of the participants said, or do we want somebody to put a beat down on somebody when they're out in these streets? I mean, Baltimore, I mean, along with Memphis and St. Louis and Cleveland, Ohio, Little Rock, Arkansas, Detroit, Michigan, Milwaukee, Oakland, California, Stockton, all of these cities are ran by Democrats. It just is. And they're all
Well, let me
seeing,
ask you this, Kevin.
yeah.
Do you think police leadership, senior leadership, are beating down the doors to come to Montgomery with the issues that we have?
But we got the same issues that we have less issues in some of the cities I just named.
We do. Absolutely, we do.
So,
But again, you
mhm,
know, if you're going to be senior management
mhm,
within the MPD and you're on the outside and somebody comes courting you, a headhunter, and they're going to look at MPD with the issues that they currently have. And there are some ways I want to give the current MPD leadership,
mhm,
in some ways, they've turned the corner. Some things are doing much better as compared to 5 years ago. Other issues, they still have room to improve on. But I'll give you a great example. Montgomery County Public School System, 33,000 students, right?
yeah,
We just hired our current school superintendent from Selma. His entire school district was 3,500 people, 10% the size of Montgomery County school system. Okay, so, and we saw how Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce pulled out. We had all these other people saying, okay, this was a sham search for a Montgomery County school superintendent. In a certain way, the same thing would go to NPD leadership search. I don't think you're going to get the cream of the crop with all the issues that we have in Montgomery. And so, you got to choose the best of the qualified candidates that apply.
Well,
and I'm not taking anything away from her.
right.
She's got a lot that she's going to have to deal with, especially if she's the new police chief within a year, 18 months. But yeah, she's a replacement. The only question is when. And I hope she can do good. I mean, for Montgomery's sake, I hope she can do good, bring the leadership that they need. But only time will say.
Only time will tell. Well, all I can tell you is that Baltimore, Maryland is considered the number seventh dangerous city in America when it comes to violent crime. And again, we need to. Why can't we get somebody here that has had a proven record of slowing that crime down? And Baltimore is always in the top now, and most of the cities in the top 25 bad cities in America are ran by Democrats, just about all of them. And there's a philosophical issue there that permeates the culture, and which is why we can't seem to. And that issue is that everybody's a victim of the past. Nobody's responsible for where they are in their lives today. Everybody's a victim. And as long as you have people telling people every day that somebody putting you down, you don't have, you quit school in the 9th grade and you wonder why you can't get a job. Well, you got 8 kids by somebody else and you can't figure out where your money is. I had a guy, there's something wrong with the philosophy of those people who believe in that philosophy. There's something wrong. And all 25 cities are ran, and unfortunately, most of them are populated by the majority of black people. And I'm just saying, and it's not the people, it's the philosophy, and that's why I say that the leadership of any city is responsible for the environment by which we have, and we are growing homegrown crooks.
Well, I'll say this, Kevin, and the only reason why you go out of house to hire somebody is because you have not developed somebody in-house to step into those positions.
Yeah.
And so that can go anywhere from the police chief to the majors to the department heads, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
There must be, I would think, my 20 years of management experience, you're not developing your people.
Yeah. Well,
thank you, Kevin. You have a blessed day, sir.
And again, my problem is that she's been here for a while. Well, then why I got to find out in the newspaper, Montgomery Advertiser? I mean, why we got to find? Why hasn't the mayor made a public announcement of this person being here? And some of the people I talked to on the city council didn't know exactly she was coming. So our representatives are blindsided by the mayor often. And I like the mayor. But the leadership, the policy issues over down there, it seemed like our city council most of the time is on edge with the mayor. I mean, it doesn't seem like a harmonious relationship where the mayor is going to let the people know. Again, we go to Baltimore, Maryland, and get somebody to sit here in a city that's notoriously known for its high crime and its murder rate. They're number 7th in the country, as a matter of fact. So and Montgomery is not even in the top 25, but even though we do have too many people getting killed around here. And again, it is a philosophical issue. People believe certain things, that they are victims and they're not responsible for what they have to do, and so we end up, and if you look at all the cities in America, okay, name me three past chief. Okay, you had who was the guy before I got here? Wilson. You had Wilson. You had the woman. You had Finley. Wilson, Finley. You had, and there's a guy who went to the U.S. Marshals. I remember him. I can't think of his name though. Let's see. And who was here right after Finley? We had Finley, and the woman. What is her name? She's out of the VA right now. I mean, I remember, I know them. I just can't think of their name. We get rid of them quick around here, you know. So if Montgomery elects a Republican mayor, you know, that's let's listen, Marcel. You bring up an interesting question. I don't think it's got a whole lot to do with the person that is mayor. Let me say that, but I do believe it has something to do with the mentality of the mayor, whoever that person is. If all you do is make mural, and it's not all he has done, so I'm not going to say that. But if you constantly remind people of the past, if you constantly tell people how bad they got it because it was a fault of somebody else, then at some point you're going to lean on that, and so you're going to lean on that, and you won't make an attempt to elevate yourself above the fray. Okay. And she is she is chief of staff that has all the responsibilities of a police chief. Okay, at least according to the Montgomery Advertiser yesterday. So essentially, she's going to be the police chief. Okay, maybe not in name. Okay, but and get you back to you, Marcel. There's a problem if the formula is bad. Okay, then the results are going to be bad. Oh yeah, and Todd Strange. Oh, when Todd Strange was mayor, I don't ever remember. And again, listen, I don't ever remember the wanton violence and the wanton killing of people. And maybe because he was mayor for 10 years, and so my mind may not be what it ought to be when it comes to that. So I'll have to go back and see exactly how many people we had killed during the reign of him. But I do know one thing: he believed in law and order, whereas we don't seem to. We Democrat mayors just don't seem to believe in it. We make excuses for it. Again, the mayor, the city council people have nothing to do with people committing crime, but they do have something to do with the environment that the crime is committed in. If you listen, we got people that went on YouTube with a world renowned reporter and just said what they was doing. I mean, they went on TV. Maybe they went on video of what they doing in this city. They weren't even scared to show their faces. I mean, I'm just perplexed because they're not scared. Okay, they're just not scared. So true. Okay. So Miss Hooks, what am I lying about again? Tell me where I'm lying now. Just tell me where I am. We had 80 murders in 1 year under Strange, the most since 1976. What year was that? I like to look. I don't ever remember 80 murders since I've been here. But if you can tell me what year that was, I'll go back and look up the records. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I don't even remember that. But let me tell you what's worse than that. Highest under Strange was 50. Okay, and it's still too many. But let me tell you what's worse than the numbers is that we have people around here that are willing to do it. We got people around here that are willing to because if we make you a perpetual victim, If we make an excuse for you, everything you do, now the governor has seen that she ain't going for the excuses. That's why she got a 4,200 bed prison being built out there in Elmore County. And it's not a matter if it's going to be filled. It is going to be filled. And it's going to be filled by mostly Democrats. People who believe in that philosophy, that they're not responsible for what they do. We can quit school at 16 years old. Still, here we are in a nation right now who can't really get a job even if you got a college degree. So you think you're going to be successful without having some semblance of an education? That's not going to happen. So you, my friend, will be part of the staff, the visitors to the new prison. I think do they call it the KIB prison, whatever they call it? Okay. And the mayor, again, the mayor cannot personally stop some person who wants to do crime. We are not blaming the mayor, but let me ask you something, Marcel. Why are we paying people if the same things? Who can we hold responsible? They are responsible for the environment by which this stuff goes on. They are in charge. The city council, the mayor, the county commission, the chairman of the county commission, they are responsible to us because of the environment that exists in this city right now, where people don't think, because they know we don't have enough policemen. We ain't kept that quiet. We've been kind of boisterous about that. We got people who don't they listen to the radio like everybody else does. They look at the newspaper like everybody else. They know that the chances of them getting caught is not very well at the moment because we can't seem to find enough policemen to want to do the job. So if the people that we hire, that we put in charge, if they hold no responsibility for the environment, not for the actual crimes that crooks do, then why are they there? I mean, why are they there? Okay. Again, why are they there? Why did they say vote for me? Okay. Why are they there? If we can't hold anybody responsible, then we can save some money in the budget and just don't have a mayor or a city council. We can just take that money, maybe give some kids a job who won't go out there and do wrong things. I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, listen, man, it's late. I gotta take a break. Y'all hang loose. I'll be right back in a minute. I gotta take a break because y'all got me messed up this morning. Again, the question is, and we started this whole thing off. We essentially got a new police chief, but nobody really knew anything about it. She'd been here a while. The city council members I talked to last night didn't know exactly what her job was till last night. And again, let me tell you this: her job, according to the newspaper, she will oversee daily operations, policy development, budget administration, and strategic management for MPD. Does that not sound like the police chief? Okay. Does that not sound like the police chief? Yes, it is. It's police chief. Okay. So what is Gray Boys going to do? Evidently, this woman is taking over his job. Okay. I'm just saying. And they're from Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is the 7th worst city in America when it comes to murders. So again, and I'm not blaming her, but somebody has got to take responsibility for the environment in these major cities around here with all this killing going on. If not, then we don't need them there. We don't need you there. And to answer one question, I believe that you can't stop people from doing things they want to do. But I do believe that Republican administrations have a tighter hold on and have better control of the disbursement of power within the city, and I think they hold people accountable more. Now, from what I've seen, it looks like, according to some of the police officers I have talked to, it seems to me that they are held more accountable than the crooks are. When you cuss a perp out and you lose your job, and that's one of the reasons why you lost your job. Yeah, some of that. Okay, it was 77 in 2021. We had 77 murders. Okay, I don't remember. I don't ever remember that many murders. But if we had two, that is too many. I hear you, but we got somebody coming from one of the most dangerous cities in America. And my thought is, and we're going to get together and talk, because my thought is, what's her philosophy? What is her legal philosophy? What is her philosophy about crime and the pursuit of the criminal? Okay, I don't want to hear any excuses about his daddy wasn't there. I don't hear no excuse about he quit the 12th grade. He's on drugs. I could care less. Okay, I need to know what her philosophy is, because she's from a city that's terrible when it comes to, and most of those lives are black. Most of those lives are black. And all these major cities where all these people getting killed, most of them black. So what is her philosophy when it comes to crime and punishment, and what is her philosophy? What is she going? Is she going to let our policemen do their job? Because I don't think Gray Boys has got a what I'd call a firm hold on the police department, because he answers to somebody else. That somebody else answers to the mayor. So we got a police chief that's really not the police chief, but he's answering to somebody else, and then that somebody else, Batiste, then that somebody else goes to the mayor. I personally, we need a police chief that the only person he has to answer to is the mayor, not some flunky in between. Okay, we don't need that. We need somebody to answer to the mayor, because the mayor, we are going to hold the mayor totally responsible for the environment in which this city is in. He is not responsible for we understand that he's not responsible for the crime, but he is responsible to us because of it. So I got to take a break. We'll be right back. I got to get my cup of milk. I got to get my cup of milk this time every morning. So we'll be back after that. Again, most of the city council didn't know what she was going to be doing. Now, everybody knows, because thank you for the Montgomery Advertiser. Now we know she's going to be running the police department. We'll be back right after this. Well, the gentleman was right with the number of 77 murders back in the 2021, as a matter of fact. Who was mayor then? Wait a minute. Who was mayor in 2021? Montgomery. Was Stephen mayor then? Yeah, he got, I think he was elected in 19, I believe. Yeah, I think so. That wasn't nothing to Todd Strange. Anyway, good morning to all of you guys. We're talking about the situation of our new police chief. Well, we're not calling her that yet, but she's got all the responsibilities of the police chief. So we're gonna go ahead and call it what it is. Yeah, who was the mayor of Montgomery in 2021? I believe Todd wasn't. No, but it was 77 murders in 2021. Highest murder rate was 19.9 per 100,000 people in 2017. Wow, that's interesting. And you want to give us a call, feel free to do that if you want to. If you totally disagree with me, then that's right. 521-2963 is the number. I'm willing to listen. I'm just saying, if we're going to get somebody, how about giving us somebody who's taken a city and turned it around to the extent that things are a whole lot better? I mean, Baltimore, Maryland just does not have a does not have a reputation of law and order. Okay, I mean they just don't. Let's see who was. I believe that was Stephen, who was mayor of Montgomery. I believe, yeah, it had to be Stephen, because I think let me see, in 2021, I believe it was Stephen, as a matter of fact. Boy, I tell you, the years are going by so yeah, it was Stephen Reed. Yeah, he was sworn in at the city's first African American mayor in November 12th, 2019. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay. So I know my mind wasn't work. Okay. The numbers here, if you want to give us a call, we love to talk to you. Whatever on your mind. I ain't scared. I ain't scared of nobody. Okay. But now somebody made a good point here. He can't stop it, but he can address it. I totally agree. And again, that's part of changing the atmosphere of Montgomery. See, once people know, in my mind, that we're not gonna, we'll do our best not to put up with this stuff, and there will be severe consequences for you for engaging in this type of behavior. That's part of changing the culture in Montgomery. But if we don't say anything about it, well, then people are going to take it's like your kids. If you ever had a child, Z used to do this. Z used to jump on the couch, right? He used to jump on the couch and just keep jumping. He'd look over there at me. I didn't say nothing. He kept on jumping. He was waiting for me to say something. And when I didn't say something, then he kept on going. Well, grown folks are the same way. If going down Ann Street every day at 100 miles an hour, if nobody ever stops you, well, you won't be stopped until you create a massive accident or you die. Because nobody said anything to you, and grown folks ain't no different than kids. Sometimes we figure what we can get away with. Montgomery Police Department reporting 497 officers in 2009 and 499 in 2015, despite a budget cut from $45 million in 2013 to $44.6 million in 2015. Okay, that's a lot of money. Yeah, so nobody's blaming the mayor. Let's just say we don't blame, but somebody is responsible to the citizens for the environment by which we live in. Okay, those are the people who get paid for it. They get paid to change that environment. Okay, I mean, Sergeant Elkins, yes, First Sergeant. How come Jones can't pass that PT test? Well, he just kind of slow, First Sergeant. Well, no. Sergeant Elkins, your job is to make him faster. Your job is to get him to pass that PT test. Yeah, he grown. He is. He's grown. Yeah, but he, yeah, my job is still to make sure he is prepared for the job and which is at hand. And right now, that job is that PT test. Because if I don't get it done, if I don't make sure that Private Johnson is passing that PT test or Private Elkins passing that PT test, I'm going to be a private right down there with him. That is called accountability. You can't take the leadership roles, the privileges of it, and not the responsibility of it. Okay, it is they come as a pair. Okay, they come as a pair. So anyway, so 77 murders, the highest, and it was 2019. And I'm not blaming Stephen for that either, because he just got elected. But something happened in that time. And it seems that every time we get somebody black in high office, we got to act crazy. It just seems, not all of us, of course, because I don't act crazy. But there's a cultural philosophy that's messed up. Now, me personally, I think I think if in Montgomery, Alabama, we ban rap music, we'll be a whole lot better off. We ban rap music and don't drink nothing higher than wine. That's right, wine. Okay, and I ain't too crazy about wine. I never had it, but it don't look like it does any good either. So get rid of alcohol and get rid of rap music, and all you can play is Nat King Cole. Yeah, I think we'll. Yeah, or Natalie Cole or somebody like that, or Luther, something like Barry Manilow, people like that. I think we have our place would be a lot. Our place would be a lot calmer. Would be a lot nicer. Have you ever seen anybody? Okay, here's a question: have you ever seen anybody? Okay, go on a rage tyrant on a freeway listening to Luther Vandross? No, you have not. Okay, no, you haven't. You haven't seen that. Okay, Montgomery homicide numbers in the 20s and 30s under Farmer, and are those numbers considered safe? Well, listen, if you're one of the ones, if only two people died and you're one of the two people, it's terrible. It is terrible for anybody. Nobody's making excuses. Nobody's saying that there's a number that we want to reach. How about none? How about nobody gets killed? Okay. How about nobody gets shot? Nobody gets killed. Maybe a traffic accident or two, but how about we just don't have any? And we can do that, but we have to change the environment in this city, and that environment change has to come from the top. I don't care if the mayor has to get on TV every day, have a press conference every day, say we coming for you. We are coming for you, and we're going to put your ass in jail. Okay, I mean, we need that message needs to go out. And this gun thing, where everybody can walk around with one. I mean, people who can walk. I just don't believe. You can never make me believe that our founding fathers wanted people with no responsibility to be trained or anything walk around with guns walking down the street. I just, this gun culture in the South just absolutely, and but I realize now. Don't get me wrong. Since everybody's carrying one, you haven't seen you. I would say you have a right to you have a right to protect yourself. No doubt about it. That's why I'm thinking. I think we ought to do like Kennesaw, Georgia does. That everybody by law must have a gun in the house. I'm with you. And I think crime rate would at least go down when it comes to people trying to break in your house or not. But we need to do something, and somebody's got to be responsible for that. Somebody has to be responsible for that. Okay, so we can't keep putting people in office. Okay, so what do? Somebody has to be responsible to us for the environment that lies in this. And it ain't just here. It's not just here. It's every major black town in America where this violence goes on, overwhelmingly killing black people. Okay? I mean, the Ku Klux Klan done took a break because they don't need to. We're doing it for ourselves. There's a philosophy. There are philosophical principles at work here that are not doing us very well. They're just not doing us very well. You're not a victim. Now, people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, they were victims. They were denied the opportunities to do all the things that they thought they may wanted to do. They were denied. There ain't no doubt about it. And the way they were treated, I wouldn't have blamed them for shooting somebody. But there is nobody my age and below that can honestly look in the mirror and say it's somebody else's fault. Because if America was really that bad, why do so many people come over here, even illegal people come over here and seem to make a living for themselves? Now think about that for a second. You born here, you're a citizen, you know people, you got cousins, uncles, aunts, whoever the case may be, and you can't seem to make it. But people who come here with nothing but a dream often do better than the people who are here. So I'm wondering, um, well, somebody said according to my logic, the case for using your logic, Montgomery was never safe. Listen, there's no city. There are some cities safer than others by numbers, but as long as you got, there wasn't but two people with Cain and Abel. There were two people, and I believe it was Cain who killed Abel, or Abel killed Cain. So as long as there have been human beings on God's green earth, there's always been somebody willing to take another somebody's life. It's always that. Okay, but I'm telling you that it has proliferated to the point where we're not even phased when we hear it anymore. We're not even. And does anybody realize that we lost almost 200 people in Texas? We're so used to people dying in this country that there should have been the lowering of all of our flags in this country for all those people that died in Texas. But we're so busy dealing with the folks that are dying around us until we haven't had the opportunity to take time out to understand the gravity and the horrific death toll that happened in Texas. Because we are too busy trying to survive in our own cities. This country should have got down on their knees and thank God that it didn't happen to us. I don't remember that many people dying at one time, except in the Titanic, and of course Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Outside of war. But we don't. We haven't even had time to think about the travesty, the tragedy of what happened in Texas, because we're too busy ducking and dodging and hoping we don't get shot walking out of the house. We don't. That's how bad it is in this country right now when it comes. And listen, I'm all for the Second Amendment, but there's nowhere in the world. And 9/11. That's right, not 9/11. And 9/11. But 9/11, I would consider that part of the war thing. We went and took care of some business on that one. But you're right. 9/11 was terrible too. But outside of 9/11, all of these people getting killed in this raging water in Texas is one of the most horrific things that has happened in this country in a long time. And I don't think we as a nation, I don't think we have given it our reverence and our solemn I can't. It's such a terrible thing to me. I can't come up with the right words for it. It broke my heart. It just broke my heart. Those kids and I'm only hoping that a lot of those people, and they were there on religious retreat, and I'm only hoping that nobody Nobody gives up on God because they were at a religious retreat and this terrible thing happened. I don't know why God allows things to happen. I don't have a clue why he allows things to happen. But things do happen. They do happen in our lives. And all I say is just pray and thank God it didn't happen to you. But we haven't, as a nation, and I'm disappointed. Now Trump did go to Texas, but I do believe that we should lower our flags, half staff, to pay tribute to all of those young people that died. Not in a war. Now, they didn't die in war, but they did just the same. So I'm just saying. So, and we haven't had time to think about it. We're too busy trying to survive here. The job of the chief is to make the police department better. Well, the job of the chief is to run the police department. Okay. I mean, that's their job, to manage it. Matter of fact, his job is what they said in the newspaper yesterday about the new person coming in as chief of staff. That is the police chief job. Okay, that's their job. I mean, she will daily operations, policy development, budget administration, and strategic management for an MPD. That's the police chief job. So again, I'm asking the question: what's he doing? Look like to me she got all the responsibility that he's supposed to have. So is he on the way out? I think he is. I think he's about ready to be gone. I don't know why, but that's just the way it goes. That's the way it looks to me. But again, yeah, I think we all know. Anybody that's ever had a leadership position, your job is to make it functional, to make it better. Okay, so okay then. Montgomery homicide number in 20s and the 30s under Former, are those numbers considered safe? No. If you happen to be the victim of it, it ain't safe for you. So there's again. I wish we had I wish we had none. No murders, no breaking people's homes, none. I wish we had none of that. But we do, because human beings are human beings. So I love this one. So you just want to have tough on crime philosophy? Absolutely. Isn't that just pandering because the mayor in power to keep people in jail? Some of these people need to be kept in jail. Yeah. I do. So you want the mayor to have a tough on crime philosophy? Absolutely. Isn't that just pandering because the mayor in power to keep people in jail? Yeah, we need some of them in jail. We do. And we don't need to make jail. And even though I realize that some people are going to get caught up in it because they happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time at the wrong date, I realize that they'll be caught up in it too. But jail should be a place where nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to go there. Okay, but jail right now is like a vacation from my criminal activities. Tell me how any mayor can stop murder. Well, that's crazy. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you who has something to do with the environment where all these murders are taking places. Okay, I can tell you that. Okay, I can tell you that, and that's, and I don't know all the policies, but again, okay, and ladies and gentlemen, again, we live in a city that has 7 institutions of academia, 7 colleges. We have a city where that many people who are supposed to be educated, then why not go out to Alabama State? Why not go out to AUM and ask some of the professors out there, give us the study, tell us what they think we should do. We have sociology majors. We have psychology majors. So if any of that crap is worth the money that our students, that the kids are paying for, then they ought to be able to come up with some answers. If any of the junk that we sending our kids to school for had some answers, because I went to school out in California for Novell. It was $13,000 for a 7-day school. Now, I didn't pay for it. The VA did. I appreciate them too. And when I got there, you know what they told me? Oh, well, these books are old and we don't do this anymore. I said, yeah, but you're giving me a book that's 13 years old and you don't apply. And so I looked at the guy, I left. I said, so we're paying $13,000 and you're giving me information that's no longer relevant? Well, that seems to be where we are now in America. Okay, we're not doing what we keep telling people they should do. Okay, again, we live in a city. We live in a city that's surrounded by colleges and universities. So academia evidently don't have any answers either. So I mean, they study the structure of society. They study the brain, which is kind of an oxymoron, but we study trends. We study statistics. We study all of this stuff that doesn't seem to really help us. Because why aren't some of these professors? Because they love using that word. My name is Professor Jones. Okay, Professor, tell me what to do. What we should do about this? Why don't we should call on some of our colleges and universities, some of these high polluting, high paid professors out there, and have a round table with them. I think I'll try to do that on the podcast. I think I'll do that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it because evidently it's not going to happen because it hasn't happened all these years. So I'm gonna see if we can get, because if the things they are teaching in school don't matter, don't work, then why are we teaching it? And why are we paying professors and academia so much money until some of these people spend 20, 30 years paying off college debt for stuff that don't work? Think about that. Think about that. We spend all of that money getting PhDs and all these things in sociology, and we can't fix one problem. Well, that's the way it is in the year 2025. Okay. And it didn't just start now, it started a long time ago. Anyway, I guess I'm going to take off here in a few minutes because now, y'all, we'll be replaying this show later on today because it needs to be heard. But again, who's responsible for the environment by which we live in? Our leadership is. Our leadership is. They're not responsible for what Bubba and Leroy do, but they are responsible, in my mind, that they even have the temerity to try to do it. Okay, they're not scared of anything. They're not scared. They're not scared of anybody or anything. So we need to change. We need to change their expectations of consequences. Okay, I'm just saying. Something is wrong with us. Okay, I don't know exactly what it is, but something is wrong with us. All right, as a people, as a group, not individually. Culturally, we have some issues, and again, I want to, I guess, welcome the new quote unquote unofficial police chief to town, but coming from a town that's the seventh in the nation of murders, I don't know what experience she can bring to this city. They evidently they need to be up there in that city, but that's okay. I got nothing to do with that. So we'll see. We probably need to put her in a patrol car and let her get out here on these streets right quick, and because that's where we need people. We don't need anybody else telling us theoretically what we ought to do. Okay, we got gray boards for that. Now, unless gray boards is leaving, and maybe somebody's hiding, is he leaving? That's what I think that's what we need to ask the mayor. Is he leaving? Because she has come in, and according to the paper yesterday, she has come in and she is taking over the day-to-day responsibilities of the Montgomery Police Department. That is something that a chief does. Okay. She will oversee daily operations. Is that not the chief job? Policy development. Is that not the chief job? Budget administration and strategic management for MPD. So can somebody tell me what's left for Grayboles to do? Okay. I know, probably have a cup of coffee with the mayor and go down and sit down and say, yeah, boy, this check sure feels good. But anyway, that's just me. That's just one black man's opinion. And that's all it is. But again, why we keep hiring people from other places whose record is no better than ours? As a matter of fact, Baltimore's record on these kinds of things is worse than ours. So I don't know if her, that's a city where the former mayor said that she wanted to give people a place they could destroy things without repercussion. So that's okay. I just want to know what her philosophy is on crime suppression. Okay, I just like to know. Maybe I'll get a chance to talk to her. Who knows? I could be all wrong about it, but I'm not wrong about the. I'm not wrong about the where they stand nationally when it comes to crime. And Baltimore, Maryland, is one of the worst cities in this country when it comes to crime and murder. So, but maybe she learned something while she was over there and she wants to implement it here. I'm not sure. But anyway, I gotta go because it's time for me to go. Man's gotta go have a bologna sandwich or something. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and maybe we'll get some more. I'm gonna see if I can get some of these professors. Take one more call. One more call here. Okay. Hello.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You right about Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
They're having a lot of problems right now. I don't know if you probably have seen. I don't know if you know. The police allegedly shot a guy who just all he does is shot and killed him. All he does is sell drinks and stuff like that in the neighborhoods.
Right.
Everybody knows him. And the police killed him. And they're not offering any kind of explanation right now. And they're fire hot right now about that.
Yeah, and we got
in Baltimore.
Yeah, we got something happen in Homewood, Alabama.
Homewood. Yeah, Homewood. Yeah, they play Aaliyah's playing games with that cam, that body cam, and I mean that's obvious what's going on with that. But I think what they should do is they should get a forensic scientist and check that videotape.
Yeah,
because if they're trying to doctor it up, they're not going to be able to get away with it.
Okay, hey man, I got to appreciate you, and
all right.
We'll talk more. Anyway, my time is up. Yeah, Baltimore is not the greatest place to live, but we'll see what our new quote unquote police chief, assistant chief of staff, whatever she is. But it looks like to me she's got all the responsibilities of a police chief. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Have a great day. And don't forget, Friday, we're going to be doing the podcast from Veterans Wellness Center in the afternoons, talking to people out there, and we'd like you to join us. Okay. I got to go, though. See you later. And it is not the falling that gives you the strength. It is getting up every time you do. We'll see you.